Welcome to the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith, and I'm your host. This is where we talk about the firearms community, shop talk, and everyday life experiences. Welcome back to the Workbench After Hours podcast. Chris is here with me, and we are going to talk about whiskey. Didn't notice by the title or what we have here on the desk if you're watching on the video version. We just have some of our selections that we like.
Yeah. There's a lot more that we like, but
yeah. Basically, we could, all the bottles behind us, we could really just bring on. And,
yeah, pretty much.
Except for a couple. But yeah, so we're going to talk about kind of like our favorites that we've tried so far, and just some other things, kind of all about whiskey. So, but we are going to try one that we haven't had yet. And this was actually recommended by Jacob, who's been on before. He texted me today, actually, and was like, hey, you should try this one. So what do we got, Chris?
We have Crown Royal Black. This thing is dark. So,
yep.
I'm a little scared because of how dark it is, but we talked about Crown Royal last time we had it and where it came from and why it is, but...
Yep. So it's supposed to be a rich and flavorful blend of Canadian whiskey, and it's actually just like the regular one, but it's matured in charred oak barrels and blended at a higher proof for a richer texture and bolder finish.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot darker than your typical Crown Royal.
Maybe that's why they call it black.
I wonder how long they actually age it, if they age it more, and how much longer compared to, the regular Crown Royal.
So what was the proof on the Crown Royal? Because right now this proof is 90 proof on this one.
Thought it was about the same.
Okay.
It must be, I don't know. I thought, because most of our whiskeys anymore are 90 or higher. I don't know, let's see, plain old Jack. 86. It might have been 80 proof. I don't know.
Because it says it was mixed at a higher proof, but I guess that doesn't mean it was finished off at that proof. But
yeah.
Anyway, the nose, rich oak with sweet maple notes. Yeah, you get some maple. Caramel in there too, though.
Yeah. You can get the oaky barrel smell too.
I mean, it definitely smells more like a Kentucky-style bourbon than you would
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and on the palate, it's supposed to get a creamy, velvety, dried fruit notes, like a fig. And then the finish, deeper bourbon-style notes with an unmistakable Crown Royal finish. It's been a little while since we tried the regular Crown, so... Interesting.
That is different.
Yeah, it is. It's good.
You get spice up front. The back end's weird. Like it's totally different from most of the whiskeys, and it doesn't have a real. I don't remember Crown Royal tasting like that.
Definitely is creamy.
Yeah. That is different.
Yeah, it's not a lot of caramel really, even though I smell. Yeah, it's hard to describe.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had Crown Royal, so but I don't remember Crown Royal tasting like that ever.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Like it's just different on the back end of the palate. That is interesting.
The front end of it's more like what you would expect.
Yeah,
in a bourbon,
spicy,
with spice. Yeah,
charred oak. Yeah,
I guess I get a hint of maple. Maybe that's what that sweet. There's some sweetness to it. That's probably what that maple is. But yeah,
that's not bad. It's just different.
Yeah, it's good. It's definitely good.
Yeah.
Let's see what it
does on the rocks. See if it changes any on us.
And this was under $35, I think, where I purchased it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the liquor store I went to was one that tends to run a little bit higher in price, but it's the closest. So.
Yeah. There's a couple of those around, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy that just how dark.
Yeah, it's like almost.
That is.
It's hard to see through it.
Yeah, because if you've ever obviously seen regular Crown, it's pretty light.
Yeah.
But of course, all of these that are in front of us right now are darker. This actually happens to be looks darker than any of the other ones in front of us.
It does. That's crazy.
Yeah. So we've done, about 60 episodes here of whiskey.
Yep.
At the beginning, we were still drinking some whiskey, but we weren't actually like trying a different one of the week. We were just having something to drink, basically. And then at some point, we decided, hey, let's just try a different whiskey every week. So it's we've had some repeats on just because it's good.
Yeah.
I think Buffalo Trace we've done a repeat on. Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
A couple of different Jack Daniels we have repeats.
Woodford.
Jameson
Black Barrel.
Yes, because that's actually really good.
Yeah.
So we thought we would just dedicate this to all about whiskey talk. So we've been bitching about the whole gun industry lately.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of steer away from that, kind of keep it a little more lighthearted, talk about the whiskeys, our experience, our favorites, and some recommendations.
Yeah. There's a lot.
So the first thing that we wanted to do, and this is, for me, really hard, is to come up with our 5 top favorite whiskeys. Price and allocation doesn't matter. Just whatever, from what we've tried so far, what are our all-time top favorites?
Yep.
I'm going to let you go first, Chris.
Well, my favorite of all time right now is actually the Frank Sinatra Select.
Yep. This is the bigger bottle sitting in front of us, if you could see it, the liter bottle.
Yeah, that is probably my top whiskey so far that we've ever had. And I wish we could get more of it because of the allocations, but
It's your top favorite, but also
it's
the most expensive
too. Yeah. So
we unfortunately paid about $200 for it.
yeah. But yeah, that's my top whiskey. And like,
Now, why that one though? Like, what about it?
I don't know. I think it's just how smooth it is, neat.
Okay.
It's real flavorful, neat, and like I wouldn't even dare put it on the rocks just because how good it is, neat. So, and you can just sip on it, and it's just so smooth.
Now, when we tried it for your graduation party, I ended up putting a couple ice cubes in it just because for me, it was, you still get the burn, you still get the heat on the back end, which is totally doable, but I'm like, I still want to try it on the rocks. So I didn't like fill up my glass like I did that by mistake in Nashville when we tried it, but it was good. It's doable.
Yeah.
For me on the, neat, but still a little more heat than I like. But
yeah, that's my top one of all time, probably right now.
Okay, so number 1.
Yeah, that's my number 1. And then after that, I don't care about what order.
Yeah.
But probably I'd have to say Jameson Black Barrel. Just it's so good every time we've had it. Mm-hmm. And then
surprisingly, because that's an Irish whiskey, but it's sits in ex-bourbon barrels, kind of like this.
I think it's actually Jack Daniels too. Mm-hmm. So that's probably why we like it so much.
Yep. It's just smooth.
It's
light and smooth.
It's really good, and it's for what the price of it. You can't. It's hard to beat. I think
$35 to $37.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little bit cheaper if it's on sale.
Yeah.
Which for a sipping whiskey isn't bad. Obviously, most of the things that we're going to talk about now are just drinking by themselves, not mixing.
Yeah. And then Woodford is on my list of top 5. I could just drink that all day straight if I had to.
Okay.
And then I have another Jack Daniels on the list. It's their number 27. It was a special release, and it was done in instead of white oak barrels, it was done in maple barrels.
Okay.
And that's probably top 4. And then the 5th one's hard for me. I don't know what to choose for the 5th one because after that, it's like everything's good usually. But those are like probably my tops. But yeah, this number 5 is hard for me to.
So if you had to pick a 5, though, you got to pick a 5 because I had to pick a 5.
Yeah. Man.
What sucks is from the last probably couple months, we've liked all of them.
Yeah, that's been the problem.
There's been some in there that we'll talk about that we didn't like, but for the most part, recently, they've all been good in their own way.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd say Blanton's maybe just because of the rarity of it, and it's a really good one, but finding it's hard.
Yeah. Blanton's controversial.
Yeah, it is. Really, those are my top 4. If I had to go to any one of those at all times, I'd be fine. But number 5's hard just because of what we've been last month or so. Like I could throw in Whistle Pig and I don't know, it's just hard.
Yes. But that whistle pig, I mean, it's $100 for the tenure that we had. So
Yeah, but
not cheap.
but a lot of those upper whiskeys. I mean, Frank Sinatra wasn't cheap. And my 27 Jack that I bought was like $100 too. So I don't know. I think I have expensive taste.
Yeah, it's getting that way.
Yeah.
So my 5 are in no particular order, just the top 5 that I like in general, both as a go-to. If I'm just hanging out with the guys and want to have something on the rocks, or just hey, I've liked this.
Yep.
This has been a very hard list, but Sinatra Jack was on mine, so we're in agreement there. Woodford Jameson Black Barrel is, because we've had it on the podcast so many times.
Yeah.
So that's on there. Jack Daniels I have listed on there, just regular number 7. But that's like, man, it could go either way, because I was torn between number 7. We started drinking the rye, which I really like the rye, and then the Gentleman Jack.
Yep.
So
really anything Jack Daniels.
Any 3 of those would be on that list as well. Kind of fall under that Jack Daniels category. And then one that I had different from you is Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
This one's sitting right here, just the regular Buffalo Trace that you see. I don't know. I love just sipping on that.
Yeah.
It's a little harder to find, but I have been able to find it. I've gone through a few different bottles, just drinking it on the rocks every now and then. And it's so good.
Yeah.
And it's not because, oh my God, it's rare or anything. No, it actually, to me, does taste good.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 5 was just hard for me, just because everything's been good lately.
Yes. Like that Russell's.
Yeah, that was good too. Like
10-year was really good.
I was like, man, why do we have to do 5?
That early times.
Yeah.
Bundled and Bond was really good. This
rare breed. Yeah.
good. It was on the upper end of the sweet side.
Yeah.
But it was still good.
Yep.
So, and then you just have the regular Jack number 7.
Yep.
So this Jack that's in up here. The label's a little bit different. It's their legacy label, but it's just the same regular number 7 recipe, just a
Different
limited
label.
release label.
Yeah.
Which when I saw it, I'm like, oh man, is it like a different recipe? Maybe from like back in the day? Nope. Did some research. Nope. It's the same thing. Just one of their first black labels that they put on the bottle.
Yep.
Kind of a bit of a history thing. So I'm like, well, I'll buy it. Kind of keep it on that shelf.
Yeah.
There's so many bottles behind us, and even stuff I have downstairs that, man, just trying to decide for 5, it was
hard.
very difficult.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting bottles that we don't have that we've tried.
Yeah.
When we first started, my top would be Jim Beam.
Yeah.
That's all I started drinking. Now I would put it up there, but it's for a mixer.
Yep.
So I just regular white label Jim Beam. I don't like by itself. There's some other ones I do. We'll talk about, but
Yeah.
so top 5 favorites. Well, let's talk about our least favorites that we've tried.
Yeah.
What do you got, Chris?
That Japanese whiskey, I don't remember the name of it. I was not a fan of.
Yeah, Hunter picked up a bottle of Japanese whiskey. Like I said, I don't remember what it was, but we tried 2 different ones.
Yeah, and
I didn't
both
like
of them were harsh.
One was better than the other. I remember that, but
I'm not a fan.
yeah. But that's, only 2 of however many.
Japanese whiskeys there are.
So maybe there's one out there we'll like, but as of right now,
yeah,
I agree. That was on my list. Japanese.
Yeah. That George Dickel that we tried in Tennessee.
Yes. Not the George Dickel that we tried with Joe on
Yeah.
the podcast, the single barrel. We tried just the standard,
George Dickel.
and it was not good.
Yeah, it was. Whew.
Unfortunately, that was a bottle we had to kind of waste. 'Cause
Yeah.
none of us could get through it.
No, we
Like,
couldn't. We tried, and it was. Whew.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, that one.
Yeah, the Knob Creek. I'm not a fan of anything really Knob Creek. So
Yeah, I didn't mind the regular one. I think we had the 9.
yeah,
That was okay. We had the Knob Creek Maple, which I had high hopes for.
yeah,
I didn't like it at all. It was way too sweet.
yeah. I think it's more of a mixing drink. Like if you're gonna make a old fashioned or a Manhattan, maybe it might do good. Or
Maybe.
because we had that. What did we have at the Bristol? We had like a bacon maple old fashioned. I think something like that. It might do good in, but
Yeah, but with
just by itself,
because with the
it's
old
way
fashioned,
too
you also
sweet.
put sugar in it. So it's like,
Yeah.
would you just not put the sugar in it at that point?
Probably
maybe
not.
because it was
real sweet.
tough. I wasn't able to finish the glass just because it was so sweet. Hollerhead.
Yeah, the banana whiskey.
We did not realize that was banana flavored whiskey until we tried it. We're like,
Like it's good, just maybe one glass, but I could not just keep drinking that. But
Yep, it was it tasted like the Runt candies.
yeah, it did exactly.
Taste, smell, yeah. If you like the banana flavored Runt candies,
Yeah.
and wanted to get drunk off it, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, go for it. But
I mean, if you're, those two would probably be good if you're trying to get into whiskey but still haven't acquired that taste.
Yep.
So you're probably gonna. It's kind of like with wine. You tend to start off with sweeter wine before you go to dry. So maybe trying some of these sweeter ones
yeah,
that we don't like now because we got more of a
we got more mature palate now.
So they might be starters, and
Yeah,
or if you just like sweet stuff, I don't know.
yeah,
Other stuff I would probably put on here is flavored whiskey, just in general. Like
yeah.
to me, they become too sweet.
They're more from mixing, I think, anymore.
Yeah. So if I like the Jim Beam peach and stuff like that, it was a good entry. Like you bought
Yeah.
me that bottle of peach.
Just to get you to try to start drinking it straight.
Yep. And that was fine. Now I probably wouldn't
Yeah.
go to that unless maybe again you're making some sort of cocktail.
Yep.
So the flavored whiskeys kind of aren't our thing. So we kind of agree on that as well. Other than that, the only other one I could think of that we weren't a huge fan is the West Bottoms whiskey.
Yeah.
And that's a local one, so I'm not sure if that's
Yeah.
available anywhere, but
Yeah, that was hard to drink.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And I had high hopes for it. Because I was like, man,
it's local.
Yeah, it's local. And I was like, man, I hope this is really good. It's good. I can buy it. It's here. But yeah, I was not a fan.
All right. So we have obviously started collecting whiskey. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the thing right now. And that's why a lot of stuff is on allocation and hard to
Yep.
find. But if you are a whiskey collector or just getting into collecting, what are some of the whiskeys that you would recommend just having part of your collection? Like if you're a whiskey collector, this
Just
should be on
beginning.
your shelf. And this could be either, you've been doing it for a while or maybe you're just starting out. Some things to think about that you just got to have on the shelf.
Yeah. Man, anything really Buffalo Trace right
Yeah.
now comes to mind.
The number one thing is
Blends.
sitting in front of me is Blanton's. There's controversy on is it as good as people make it up to
Yeah.
be. That's going to be up to you. We like it
Yeah.
for a 60 for MSRP price.
Yeah.
If you pay more than $70 for it, it's
Not
really
worth it.
not worth it.
Yeah.
But at the MSRP price that it's supposed to go for, $60 to $70,
Yep.
it's good for that price. And if it's something for your shelf, I mean, it has a cool bottle. Like
Yeah,
that's just a unique, cool bottle. You got the horse on top.
Yep.
And then they have the whole collector thing where it spells out Blanton. So
Yeah. Hopefully we get to that level.
right. So if you could find it in that MSRP price range,
Yeah.
we think that would be a good one just to have on the shelf.
Yeah. It's unique and everyone will talk about it probably.
Yes.
So
Like, oh, hey, you got
Yeah.
Blanton's.
Blanton's for sure needs to be if you can get it for I'd say even if probably underneath $100 if you're starting your collection you really want it, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something you've been hunting for a long time and it's
Yeah.
a little higher price, but if you
like-
want it for your collection,
It's like
I mean,
Sinatra. I was like hunting for it for 3 years and finally came across it and I almost didn't get it. But then someone over here,
yeah.
well, I'll buy it then. It's
Yeah.
like, God dang it. I
You've
guess
been
I'll buy it.
You've been talking about it forever.
I
And
know.
we've never seen it. I'm like, Chris, you're not guaranteed we're going to see it anywhere else, even if
Yeah.
we're in Tennessee or whatever.
Yeah. So if you've been searching for it and you want to pay the extra, do it. Go for it. Especially if it's the first time you've seen it, you've been searching for it 3 years.
Yep.
Just go ahead and get it. But yeah, Blanton's, I'd say anything under 100 maybe.
Yeah.
But
And then again, anything Buffalo Trace.
yeah.
Just because, I mean, for the most part, they're really good.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to have those bottles. Like I tried Eagle Rare for the first time at a restaurant the other day. That was good. Those retail for around $50 or so,
Yeah.
50, 60. So it's good that having allocated items in your collection is cool because
You can talk about it.
you can talk about it, kind of show it off, and then also drink it
Yeah.
if you want to open those bottles. And it's just cool because I mean, anybody can go to a liquor store, buy number 7 Jack or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all cool to have in your collection, but it is nice to have some of the rare stuff. Just
That no one's either seen or has
yeah,
had.
just to be kind of proud of having
Yeah.
that in your selection.
Yeah. Yeah. But and also if you're starting out for collection, I'd always say like Woodford would be on my list just because it's decently priced. Jameson, Black Barrel. Yeah,
Pretty much anything that we've talked about.
Yeah, pretty much everything. But man, it really gets hard because once you start collecting, some of these whiskeys are really hard to find, like Van Winkle, Peppy.
And it all depends, like if you like strictly just like the whiskey or bourbon, because there's a difference.
Yep.
Or rye. I mean, some people like you used to not like rye, so maybe you're not going to have a rye whiskey in your collection. But you know, like Whistle Pig, that Whistle Pig 10-year rye.
Yeah, that was
pretty
good.
expensive, but it was really good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have, at least in my collection, the bottles that I like to keep on the shelf and hold for a special occasion.
Yeah.
And kind of proud of. And then I got other stuff to where, you know, they're a lot less expensive. Obviously, we open them and try them, but they're still kind of cool to have on there. Like, all right, I don't care if these get open. Try a little bit every now and then. Sip on it.
Yeah, especially if you can get it all the time. Might as well.
And then you always have a go-to. Like I always typically try and keep a number 7 JD around just to drink, or if I got friends over that are just looking to drink and stuff.
Yeah.
Or the wife wants. She's cleared me out of whiskey recently, so.
Yep. That, and I used to be all about like, I would want a bottle that was unique looking or different. So there for a while I was buying just crazy bottles just for how they look, and I didn't care about taste.
Yep.
So.
Yep. On the shelf up here, there's one that's shaped like a baseball.
Yep.
We've had that whiskey.
Yeah, it's Cooperstown.
In the regular bottle, but they have it in, I mean, it just looks cool on the shelf as a decoration.
I think I brought some too, and we tried it a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then that Willet one where it's kind of like the big pancake bottom and has that long stem.
Yep.
That's just a cool bottle. I got a bottle sitting on this shelf too, just because it looks cool.
Yeah.
As a background, especially if you do videos, or it just looks cool on the shelf. So, I mean, if you're just want a bottle because it looks cool, freaking do it.
Yeah. Do it.
Nobody's going to judge you.
Yeah. But usually everyone, I think, probably has the main whiskeys. What I say is like Jim Beam, Jack, probably Crown Royal. Those are like usually the people's go-tos or main for mixer or starting out. So they're probably going to have them in their bar already. Yeah.
And if you need, say, because typically with an old fashioned, you want to use a rye for the most part. So having like a cheaper rye on hand for that. So like the Jack Daniel's rye that we tried was really good for that, or maybe something a little bit cheaper too. Old Granddad is actually a really good one that we've used for. Yeah. We haven't had it on the podcast yet, but Old Granddad is pretty cheap and really good for an old fashioned.
Yeah. And that, and like once you, I don't know, it's hard because I have a bunch at home too. And it's like, then you start getting like single barrels. People might just start searching for certain single barrels, and then your collection just keeps growing and growing.
Yep. Because a single barrel, like we said, is going to taste different from bottle to bottle.
Yeah.
Slightly. Because it's not like Jack Daniel's where they blend 300 barrels together to make a consistent taste.
It's one barrel. And then
and it's pretty cool because you get the barrel batch, barrel number on there, and
the stiller's name, when it was done usually.
Yep.
And yeah.
So what do you think about this Crown Black on the rocks now?
It's different still.
To me, it loses a lot of the flavor.
Yeah, lose that like the initial front heat and spice. It's like real dull now.
Yeah, so this would be good for probably a beginner.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not with the rocks.
Yeah.
It's lost a lot of the flavor.
Yeah.
I think.
It changed.
But it made, it's still an easy sipper.
Yeah, it is. It's real easy.
Yeah, just lost a lot of that to it. Oh, well. So, budget's always a thing. Whiskeys get expensive.
Yes, they do.
So, what would you recommend as some of the best under $30 whiskeys?
Well, Jack Daniel's for sure. I would say the Evan Williams small batch that we've had. That
like $20, right?
Yeah, it's like $20-$25, and it's really smooth for what it is. And like that one, you could drink on the rocks all day too. Jim Beam, of course. Maybe
some of the other Jim Beams, like the Devil's Cut.
Yeah, Devil's Cut for sure.
And they have like, I think the blackened, black. And
they have like a double single barrel or double oaked barrel.
So some of those, like the Devil's Cut and thing, you can find for about $20.
Yeah,
and those are good. For me. I can drink those on the rocks.
Yep.
So, Jesse James.
Yeah.
The white label one.
Yep.
That one's pretty cheap. And
it was
my
good
wife
too.
just finished off that bottle, so obviously she liked it. So that's a easy drinker too, and you can mix it. Cool thing about the ones under $30, you don't feel as bad mixing.
Yeah.
You have company come over and they want to mix like Coke or something with it.
Yeah.
Not a big deal versus your very rare Sinatra Jack. You don't want to see somebody, oh, let me try that and dump freaking Coke in it.
Yeah. I'd probably lose.
Freaking slap them.
Yeah. Get out of my house, is what I'd be saying.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And then again, best for mixing.
yeah.
White label Jim Beam. Jack Daniels number 7's really good with Coke.
Yep.
I like Jim Beam specifically with Sprite or 7-Up.
Yeah, you got me on that for a little bit, and I was like, man, I never even thought about that. But
Yeah.
it's good. I even done it with Jack a couple times just to try it.
How is it? And
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather do it with Jim Beam.
Yeah.
Because Jim Beam, I don't know, Jim Beam doesn't have that heat like Jack Daniel does on the back end, so it's a little bit different.
Yep.
But
Regular Crown.
yeah,
That's good. That's a decent mixing one. Coke or Sprite or whatever. I would assume Evan Williams.
yeah. I don't know. We haven't had real. Evan
We
Williams.
haven't had the regular Evan Williams, but the small batch is probably going to be,
Yeah,
if not a little bit better. So Evan Williams and Coke, I see a lot of people doing similar to Jack. So another, because that one's like, you could buy that.
$17, I think.
I've seen it for 12.
Yeah, depending on the. I think you can get a liter for under 20.
Yeah. So that's a cheap mixer.
Yeah.
Evan Williams. And honestly, if you're mixing it,
Who cares?
yeah.
At that point.
You're still going to get some of the whiskey flavor, but it's not going to be the same as drinking it on the. So I would spend,
Yeah.
instead of going like $27.99 for a bottle of number 7
Yeah.
Jack, if you got a lot of people coming over, just go buy a bottle of Evan Williams. Most of the people won't tell the difference.
Yeah. No, not at all. So
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other good mixers that we've at least had.
I don't know.
Because it seems like anything above 30, it's like, man, I don't want to mix.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything above 30, I don't usually. Nope, not mixing it.
Yep. And when we started the podcast, I'm like, all right, I'm going to try and keep the whiskeys of the week under $30.
Yeah. That quickly went away.
Yes.
Very fast.
I mean, you get the $20 ones, and it's fine. They're there's good ones like the Devil's Cut and stuff like that. But once you get between probably 30 to 50 is when you start getting the really good tasting whiskeys.
Yep.
So
anything above that, you're.
like this Buffalo Trace, usually low to mid 30s.
Yep.
It is. I just love that. So good. And most of the rare breed, of course, the rare breed was like closer to 50 now. But
Yeah.
inflation, but pre-inflation, I mean, $30 to $50, you can get a lot of good whiskey.
Yeah. A lot of single barrels too in that price range.
That George Stickle single barrel is on there. It's really good. So when we had that Yellowstone whiskey on
Yep.
with my wife, we tried that. Initially, I really liked that whiskey. And I bought a couple other bottles when they were on sale, and then I tried it again recently. I don't like it as much as I did.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because my palate's changed or what, but I didn't like it as much as, because I remember on that podcast, I really liked it. I'm like, this is really good. And then I'm like, it's not as good as I remember.
Maybe it was just, I don't know, different barrels or something.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, your palate, like I said,
it
changes after everything that we've tried.
Yeah, it does. I think it slowly matures over time is what I'm starting to realize.
One thing I don't ever want to think about is how much money we spent on whiskey.
Yeah. I'd probably cry.
Just what we spent on alone in
Tennessee.
Yeah, it was $200 in one bottle right there.
Yeah.
Not to mention Blanton's. We spent, probably around $65-$70 on those. Yeah.
We probably blew easily $500 just on liquor that trip.
Yes. Let alone what we've gone through this entire podcast journey. 60 episodes. Ooh.
Yeah. It's crazy because I keep going back to my bar and I was like, fuck, I'm out of that already. I have to go buy more, I guess.
And I hate, so now I like to collect whiskey.
Yeah.
Have a nice selection. What sucks is we get the whiskey of the week, we try it. Eventually it gets emptied for the most part, unless it's something super rare. And then it's like, man, that sucks because I liked having that bottle in my collection. So half the time we have one on the podcast, ends up getting drank, and then I go buy another one just to have sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
It's funny like that because it's like...
Yeah, it happens quite a bit.
Especially if I like it. Like, that Russell's 10-year?
Yeah.
I'll probably go buy another bottle of that because it was really good. Early time, that was so good.
Yeah.
I found it on sale for $20, a liter for $20.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm definitely going to keep that. And that's one, it's like, okay, if it gets drank, not a big deal. It's easy to, for the most part, still easy to find, and $20.
Yeah, can't beat $20.
So yeah, I mean, that one.
It's once you start getting up to like 40 and 50, you're like, fuck, do I really want to go buy 2 of these now? Because that's going to be an easy $100.
I know. It sucks. Like every time I go, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty
Shot
bad.
to the bank account.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when we're texting each other. Hey, this is what they got here at this liquor store.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're different.
Yeah.
All over. So yeah, it's weird. It's been bad on my wallet and probably my liver.
Yeah, probably.
But it is what it is. So my wife and I are going to Florida, and so I'm going to see what we can find down there, if there's anything different. I don't know if, Florida, in that area, more rum-based, just because of where it is.
I showed you that one whiskey that has like a gargoyle on top.
Was that down there?
Yeah, it was I think it's bottled and distilled down there.
I'll definitely keep
the
a look
name
at
on that. Yeah,
because I've learned I'm going to go to both small and bigger liquor stores.
Yeah,
as we've learned in Nashville, sometimes the smaller ones have more of the allocated stuff than some of the bigger ones, or at least we're willing to part with it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's one by my work. I've been really like tempted to go in just to see.
Yeah,
because I hardly ever see people there, and I can see them when the truck arrives usually during the week. I've been like, oh, should I just go in there and maybe see and watch it be like a gold mine or something? Because it's like in a really bad area.
Yeah. Yes. A lot of liquor stores, especially the smaller ones, won't put out their allocated stuff.
Yeah.
You have to specifically ask for the bottle. And a lot of times, if they haven't seen you before, they won't sell it to you, which is.
Yeah. Usually, if you just spend a lot of time looking through the aisles, they'll ask you, hey, are you looking for anything specific? And I'm usually just like, anything Buffalo Trace is what I'll just say, just to see what they say at that point.
Yep.
And if they say, yeah, we got Buffalo, and they usually at that point will be like, oh, yeah, we got Buffalo, we got Weller. Well, would you be willing to part with any of it? Yeah. Okay. How much? And then buy it that way.
Yep. I remember going to one of the bigger liquor stores here, and that's when we were still looking for like Weller.
Yeah.
Haven't found it. And I asked the guy, I'm like, I was checking out. I had a few other bottles of stuff with me. And I'm like, do you guys have any Weller or anything Buffalo Trace? And he's like, no. And then he's like, all right, you're buying some other stuff. Hold on. And he came out with one. I'm like, so
yeah,
just because I was buying other stuff and wanted that, you weren't going to sell a bottle of the Weller? It's like,
yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't understand the reason why people are like, you're there to sell the product, sell the product.
Yeah, it's great to have something on allocation, but man, don't you want your money back and get that cash flow for it? I mean, it's cool it kind of sucks it goes fast, but shit, man, as a business, I like to, my inventory, I like to get out of my hands as quick as possible. So,
yeah, it's crazy. Like, everyone's like real leery. Like, I even called one because I saw that they had Blanton's supposedly online. Like, you can't believe everything you see online. I was like, well, so do you have Blanton's? He's like, well, I don't think so. It's like, well, you think or at that point.
Yep.
It's like, why you got to be so secretive?
And like Jacob said, he's kind of tight with the owner of the small one by him, so they're keeping a lookout and will let him hold back a bottle of Buffalo Trace if they get it in. So maybe if you can befriend the owner or somebody of your liquor store, they'll be a little more willing to work with you.
Yeah. Or maybe that's what we should do. Just open our own liquor store, then we can get our own allocations of stuff.
Yeah.
There we go. Never have to search for anything again. Just order it, and then we'll get it in. We'll hold it for ourselves.
Probably easier said than done.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know how hard it is to get a liquor license, but probably not easy.
Probably not. Yeah, I've been waiting because they're opening up a brand new liquor store in my town, and I'm like, I need to hurry up and learn who the owner is and try to get in good with them. Because I want to see if he can get me certain things.
Yep. So it's funny, after we took the Jack Daniel's Distillery tour, it gave us a better appreciation for not just Jack, but whiskey in general.
Yeah.
Just
the process.
Yeah, everything that goes into the process. It's cool to learn, and a lot of places do it different or their recipes different, but for the most part, the process is the same.
Yeah.
Just it's cool. And so our next trip, we've already decided,
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
For
Kentucky.
a few different reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in Kentucky. Same driving distance from here, about 8 hours.
Yep.
And so we'll definitely try and do it before the heat of the summer.
That or wait till the fall.
Right. Because doing Jack Daniels in July,
That sucked.
ooh, it was toasty.
Yeah, there was a lot of walking.
Yes. Yeah. It was rough.
Yeah, it was.
So
It was fun though. Like, I don't know. I like going to like new cities and seeing what it's all about.
yep. Yeah, so the only bad thing about the distilleries in Kentucky, and same thing with Jack, but at least you're kind of somewhat close to Nashville. A lot of the other ones in like Kentucky aren't near anything.
Yeah, there's not much.
So it's either you're taking a day trip from a bigger city, or you're going to try and find somewhere in a mom and pop town to stay. And
Yeah.
but I think Buffalo Trace would be worth it just to see if we can.
Well, there's a lot of
get
distilleries in Kentucky alone. Like they got Buffalo Trace, Jim Beam. You got Four Roses,
Wild Turkey.
Wild Turkey. Yeah, there's a bunch. Like it's crazy.
And those are just the big ones. There's so many different ones.
Yeah. That and just trying to go through the liquor stores, see what they got.
Yep. Yeah, and driving through just the state of Kentucky, because you could tend to find more stuff than we can here, or different stuff.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Like every time I go out of town, I don't as much since I don't travel for work as much. But when we do, it's like, I'm gonna start looking around, seeing what different whiskey I can't find in Kansas.
Yep.
Maybe some like other states have like local things that might be good, or at least the bottle looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice. I wish we could just order this stuff straight from the distillery and have it shipped to our door. It'd be so much easier.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend this Crown Royal Black on the rocks to somebody who's
New to whiskey.
Maybe doesn't like a lot of that bold flavor or even spices or anything, because on the rocks,
It kills the spice like really quick.
definitely no heat on the back end now. So
It almost tastes to me like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
At this point.
So this,
It'd probably be great for a beginner.
or mix it with a little splash of Coke.
Yeah, because that's what it tastes like to me now is Coca-Cola.
Yeah. So I think I'd prefer to drink this for the taste on neat.
Yeah.
But if you want to get rid of, I don't know, make it a little smoother, put it on the rocks. But for me,
Yeah.
it just kind of takes away the,
Takes away the flavor and the palate a little bit.
but still good though.
Yeah.
It's still crazy how dark it is.
Yeah, it is super dark compared to all these other ones.
Yep. But
It's almost 90 proof?
it is 90 proof. Yep.
Yeah, because Sinatra's 90. So, and it's a lot darker.
Yes. Cool. Well, anything else whiskey related you want to talk about?
Do not buy small miniature bottles of Fireball. Because apparently they don't actually put whiskey in it, so they're getting a lawsuit on it.
That's depending on if you find it like in a grocery store
Or gas station.
or gas station in a state like us where you can't buy liquor in those places.
Yeah.
You have to buy it from an actual liquor store.
I saw that the other day and I was like, what?
I don't like Fireball at all.
If I'm going to do anything cinnamon flavor, I'll just go to Jack Daniels and get their Jack Daniels Fire because I think it's a lot smoother and more flavor.
Yep.
So
You
you take a little bit of Jack Daniels apple with it and you have an apple baked pie.
Yeah.
That's what we learned on the tour. It's so good.
It's good. It's more than like you just have a small glass.
Yeah. Like
and that's about it.
Like a super cold winter day, just sitting by a fire, that'd be good to sip on.
Yep.
But yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm excited to plan a trip to Buffalo Trace.
So am I. I'm ready. I've been wanting to go.
Oh, cool.
Just need to win the lottery before we go. So
yeah.
just buy everything we want.
Yep. So yeah, obviously the next episode's coming up. We're still going to try different stuff. So our collection's going to grow. Our taste buds might change too.
Yeah.
I definitely have a bunch back here that I want to try. But again, it's like, man, I like having it on the shelf. I don't know if I want to open it kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. It took like when I got the Sinatra, I was like, I do not want to open it, but I'll open it for my graduation.
Yep.
That's what we did. It was good. I haven't had one since, and I'm like really tempted. I almost have to like hide that bottle in my bottle number 27, so I don't know about it. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I forget about it.
Well, you never know. If we
can find another one, I'll buy it.
We found these in Kentucky, actually.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And I want another bottle of that, another bottle of Blanton's, so I can actually finish my bottle of Blanton's I got now.
Yep.
Gosh.
Yep, I have an empty one sitting over there
Yeah.
on the table. It's because the bottles are cool.
Yeah, they are.
So.
That's so nice. But yeah, let us know what you guys like to drink or what whiskeys you might have in your collection.
Yeah.
Or a whiskey maybe we didn't talk about that you think would be
something you want to see us try.
Yeah. Because we're always open to trying new things.
Yep. Like Jacob gave me the suggestion for this black.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. It wasn't on my radar, but let's try it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, cool. Well, we wanted to keep this one slightly short and all about whiskey. So, yeah, stay tuned for next week. Who knows what we'll talk about by then.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, thanks for joining in, guys. And Chris.
This is a YouTube podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and tickle that bell. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other listening platforms, remember to like and follow. And with that, have a good one.